Hey y'all, it's Thursday. Come on, come on, come on in here, y'all. Come on, come on. It's Fresh Chats. Come on. Famous. Come on, y'all. It's Thursday. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Fresh Chats with Dr. B. Look, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I had a little dental work done this week, so I am talking real gentle. I'm talking real gentle, but I said I'm going to show up because it's Thursday and it's Fresh Chats with Dr. B. So thank y'all so much for joining me. Listen, today I was inspired in a session earlier to kind of pivot on the topic for this evening. And so we're going to talk about surviving testing season, y'all, because it's getting pretty hot. So a lot of people have been in test prep mode. For some people, that means drill and kill, that means boot camps, that means last ditch efforts to get kids over the hump, get kids into the bubble and out the bubble, and all kind of things are going on. And so if you are in another state, I'm not sure what other people's testing looks like, but in the state of Texas, we have quite a bit of students going into testing next week. So and it's spring. You know how it is when spring has sprung and the kids already start getting acting a little bit, and then it's testing time. So I wanted to come on this evening to just share a couple of things you could do to survive and even thrive, y'all, for some people during testing season. So let's hop straight in. So we are constantly in communication with educators and especially with our teachers that are on the ground and in the schools. And one thing that I'm noticing as I travel to schools and do workshops is that we have this session of this part, I should say, of the workshop where we really dive into what are you doing to stay fresh. And I hear people sharing with their colleagues things that they are doing to stay kind of in this place of survival and thriving and being able to show up every day. A recent study suggested that about 55% of educators are experiencing burnout, and of them, quite a few are suggesting that they are going to retire ahead of when they plan to retire or leave the field altogether. And so I think it's important that we've been focusing in on this topic a little bit. So let's get started. So the first thing, I surveyed teachers that I know, in some of them are instructional coaches now, but they're still in the field. And I said, what is it that you would say to teachers in this moment in terms of how to survive during testing season? Because it's getting a little brutal for some teachers. And the first thing that kept coming up was remind them to remember their why. And I thought that was powerful. A couple of people told me today, remind them to remember their why. And this is so powerful, not just on some feel good kind of philosophical stuff like, oh, remember your why, but in a real way to stay rooted. I think showing up from a place of gratitude. And so one person suggested even writing it down, like writing down the reason why you even got into this profession in the first place and putting it somewhere where you can see it, whether that's by your board, whether that's wherever you hang your purse or your bag when you come into work, whatever it is for you. But it's just simply to remember your why, because that alone can really get you through some of those toughest moments. Especially you hear people say all the time that it's not the kids that's their problem, it's the adults in education that that end up being their problem. But when you can really take time to focus on make a daily practice of focusing on your why, I know it sounds kind of foo-foo, but there are real implications for your groundedness, right? And so one of the things that I have to do, especially when things are getting tough and there's back-to-back deadlines and things are getting intense in higher ed. Students just went through finals week. That means grading research papers and all of that kind of thing. I always like to make sure that I am taking time to do prayers of gratitude and center myself. So that means getting some yoga time in on my mat, pausing to get some meditation, y'all. I know it sounds kind of foo-foo for some people. They're like, that ain't gonna help me. But I think that's the first step, is filling your own cup. Right. So taking time away from whatever the demands are on you to really focus on yourself. Sounds selfish, but it ain't selfish, because you got to fill your cup first. Okay. The next thing is, I think it's important in some situations when I speak with educators, they will make it clear that there are some things on their campus that are messed up, or there are some things on their campus where their administration is making their work harder and not easier, right? And that's causing the burnout or the pressure, or that's causing the anxiety that they're experiencing. One thing that I always say is, oh, I'm sorry, let me turn this down so I can. One thing that I would like to encourage you to do is ask for what you need. Open your mouth. People like to say, closed mouths don't get fed. Listen, I want to encourage an educator that's tapping in, whether you're watching in real time or we're live, or you're watching the playback. Ask for what you need. Open your mouth and talk to your administrators. If you have an opportunity to communicate with central office people that have bigger budgets and whatever, say what you need. Okay, a lot of times educators that I speak with, they will tell you 5 things that are really stressing them out, but they won't communicate, or they don't have the opportunity to communicate the things that they see that need to be done, whether it's for students, whether it's for them and their colleagues. So I'm going to say one thing: when it comes to surviving testing season, tell them what you need. That sounds simple, right? You'd be surprised how many people just swallow it. They just say, my principal don't care. My principal isn't going to do this. My campus, they'll do this, but they won't do that. But sometimes if you just start communicating more openly, trusting that your opinion is as valuable as the leadership, you will be surprised how often you may spark a new idea that somebody else just never considered. You may be the person. Now, this is what used to happen to me, y'all, when I was in the classroom. I would say an idea that was lovely. And I had this one principal who gave me a lot of leadership experience. And one thing he would do is say, that's great. Why don't you head that up? So that's another thing. Be careful when you start leaning into trying to improve the campus and say what needs to be done, and share your opinion. That they might ask you to head it up. You know what I mean? But if you got a heart for it, then do it. But when it comes to surviving, I think that communication is key. Otherwise, as a teacher, you start to feel like your voice doesn't matter as much on a campus, or people are going to do what they want to do anyway, and they won't care what you think. But um, I would say get into the practice of asking for what you need and making it clear to them, because it's going to get some of that off of you, and then it's going to help your leadership know how to pivot and take care of you and the needs of your colleagues. So the first thing was to remember your why. And the second thing was to ask for what you need, because closed mouths don't get fed. Even like literally fed. Like Teacher Appreciation Week is next week. Like we're gonna be feeding people, because like getting fed just does something to your spirit, doesn't it? I mean, like when people just provide you with good food, I mean, they just think about it, prepare a table before you. It just nourishes your soul. So I'm just saying, tell your principals, if y'all, you know what I'm saying, what you need, your leadership. The next thing I want to encourage you to do is be realistic about your expectations, y'all. I know everybody was working real hard to get the students ready, but the reality is, the students that you're teaching, it's been 2 years of, we don't even know what to call it. Like we don't even know what the ramifications of the past 2 years are going to be in education. So remember that you have done good work. If you have, if you haven't, that's another topic. But if you've done good work, just know that for some students, it's going to mean passing the test. For some students, it's going to mean growth. And that growth, whatever it looks like, is going to be progress. And so, in a world where a lot of pressure is put on teachers in terms of test scores, what we know as educators, and this goes back to your why. When you look at your why and it's bigger than a test score, you can stay rooted in what's real, right? Because we know standardized tests, they have flagrant cultural biases. We know that they have historically not been an indicator of what success will be for students, and like we know all these things, right? So at the same time, we can't wish our changes upon the state, upon the system. But while we also advocate for those changes, in the meantime, we still have the system that we have. So I would say be realistic about your expectations. The truth is, if you showed up every day, gave those kids 110%, you can rest easy knowing that you did your best. Now, this is the last step, and it's going to be bonus. This is going to be number 4. Find something that fuels your soul. I mean, like some people, you go to church, you get your cup refilled. For me, I'm a balanced kind of person. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'm gonna go ahead to happy hour on Friday. I'm gonna go ahead to church on Sunday. I need all of it to lift me, restore me. I need the whole weekend to get me going for the next week. So whatever it is you need, I'm gonna encourage you to unplug and do the things that matter to you. Leave your school. Let me look at the camera. Leave your school. When it's time for you to get off, leave and go. Okay. And now get you a bottle of something and have a seat and trust that when you do your good work, the good results are going to come from your students, even if that means growth for the students that have not, that didn't pass or that don't pass when they get to the test. Right. All right. So the anxiety for a lot of people is like really high. So I'm encouraging you to consider a couple of things. Okay. Consider um, remembering your why and actually writing it down somewhere where you can see it. Consider asking for what you need. That means going directly to leadership for things that they can physically help you with on your campus and your needs. And then for some people, asking what you need, let me go back to number 2. For some people, asking for what you need sometimes looks like you being honest about what's going on in your personal life, even though you might want to keep your work life and your personal life separate. Sometimes you will suffer in silence. I'm just going to tell y'all, just because I'm a completely transparent person, I've always found support in transparency. That means if I have to go to my principal and be like, can I shut the door right fast? I need you to know this. Don't expect this. Expect this. I need to leave at this time. This is going on today. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, again, closed mouths don't get fed. So I never keep my mouth closed. I always say, this is what's going on. And sometimes if you would be a little transparent, you can have your needs met too. That's number 2. But then number 3 was to make sure you have realistic expectations, y'all. Y'all know what it's been in the past 2 years. You've given it your all, and we're going to all see these results come in. These numbers start rolling in after a while, and we're all going to have to reckon with what they are and move forward accordingly, right? As an educational whole. Now, the last thing that you can do is make sure that you have joined our Fresh Fam list. Okay, if you're not already signed up to receive our emails, you want to do that, especially because next week is Teacher Appreciation Week, y'all, and we are going to keep some teachers fresh. I'm talking about a week worth of giveaways, freebies, all kind of things coming your way, y'all, because we already know we need to be sending all the good vibes to our educators, right? So if you are a person that has any comments, questions, or concerns, please drop those wherever you're watching, because everyone's watching from somewhere else. Drop that wherever you're watching, and then I'll comment with anything if I can provide any supports. And so just let me know how I can support you. All right. So let's talk about moving forward. So I told you next week, you don't want to miss our giveaways and our freebies. So make sure you're signed up for our Fresh Families. When you go to our website, it'll pop up and tell you to sign up for our list. And you want to make sure you do that. That's www.thefreshclassroom.com. We also will be giving out all kinds of tips, tricks, information, keeping you in the know with the Fresh Fam on the website. All right. So let's talk about what's coming up in the Fresh Classroom. We are still booking summer PDs. All those dates are not available anymore, but you can contact us through the website as well if you are looking to book PD for the summer and the fall for your campus. All right. This PD is focused on helping educators build culturally responsive classrooms that are fun, relevant, engaging, standards-based, and higher order for all kids. All right, so you want to focus on that. If you, because you have to get PD, you want to make sure that you get dialed in with something that's fresh. Also, if you haven't already read our book, you can purchase that on the website as well. Always remember that you have the ability to empower or disempower students with every interaction every single day. My prayer is that you will empower them. And the last way I can help you do that is our fresh summer workshops, y'all. Registration is now open. If you are coming into the Dallas area, June 22nd, or if you're in the Houston area, June 29th, we will be live with our one-day workshops in person, y'all. We just came back face-to-face. We're so excited. And our workshops are very unique in that we focus on not only the professional development, but the personal development of educators. And so that means we feed good food. We have massage therapists that come in for lunch. You never know what kind of little surprises we'll have, because it's all about the holistic development of teachers. So thank you so much for joining us. Even if you're watching the playback, I want you to know you can survive this testing season, and make sure that you take care of yourself so you can stay fresh, and then you can keep it fresh for your students. Y'all have a good one.